Fuck you. Are you dead ass? You are insane.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you're a fucking whore.
No, you're not recording me right now.
I'm gonna record you. You just said I'm too large for your car?
This is a matter of logic and rationale, and I have a right to say.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. It's my car.
This is not your car. I'm not too large for your car. I'm gonna
It's my vehicle.
Are you dead ass, you fucking bitch?
Go away.
Fuck you. Are you dead ass? You are insane.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you're a fucking whore.
Dude, what the fuck? Yo, this guy's comedy, man. That is comedy. What's good, Kendall? Let's get right into it. No bullshit. Alright, let's do it. FOMC Forex Academy. Let's go. Welcome to the stream. Appreciate y'all for being here. Alright, we good? Mic is working. Yep. Hope you guys are having a good day so far. My bad. I was just scrolling through Twitter for a second. What team is he on now? I think he's on 100 Thieves still. Doing the trading session. I just have both streams on since I'm gonna get back on to do wagers. I'm not gonna turn the stream off to turn it back on. So you guys will be watching it too. Get a little bit of brain power in you guys. Let me put the YouTube chat on this side and the Twitch chat on that side. What's good, Kendall? You still here? Bet. We'll be we'll give everybody another 5 minutes to join 7 p.m. We'll get right into it. The first couple minutes we'll go over the market makers pattern, right, on AU, just so everybody understands what it is that we're looking at, why we're looking at it. And then we'll go on from there. We'll go over the pairs that you see on the right hand side with the red flag next to their names, starting off with AUD-USD, finishing off with US oil. Isolation session. Again, we're not going to focus on the bigger picture today. We're just going to focus on the continuations of the trade, talk about where we're at, what we're looking for, what we could be expecting, not only for the next trading session, but for the entire week, what we could be expecting. Kenny High just scrapping a BZ? I don't know what team he's on now for BO7. I'm not sure. Yeah, but you're right. Yeah, he's not on 100 Thieves anymore. We'll start at 7 p.m. Any questions, guys, let me know before we start. Any specific pairs you guys are looking at, let me know. Anything you guys want me to explain, you guys could always just stop me. If I'm going too fast, you guys could let me know. Hey, you're going too fast, slow down. Explain this again, whatever the case is. If there's a specific pair you guys want me to go over, let me know, whether or not they're on our list. EU and GU, we'll go over those. Those are on our pairs. Those are on our watch list. Again, we'll be going in order from the top to the bottom, so we will get to EU and then GU will get to it as well. I got you. I don't know where he is now. I haven't heard his name much in Rostermania. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, you're right. I'm sure somebody will pick him up, bro. There's no way he doesn't get on a roster. DXY, I got you. That's not a pair that I look at, but I believe I have DXY here. Let me see. No, I don't have DXY here. We'll add it. We'll do that one at the end of the stream. Can what you talked about be applied to futures? Yep, it is the same thing. It applies to futures. It applies to all the foreign currency pairs, crypto, indexes, commodities. It's all the same thing. I trade it all the same way. Energies as well. If you trade, you know, U.S. oil, UK oil, it's all traded the same way. But for the most part too, all futures charts are the same thing. It's just a different ticker, right? If futures gold isn't XAU-USD is MNQ. You know, for those who trade NAS 100, is not NAS 100 in futures, is NQ, but is the same. You know, S&P 500 is the same thing. It's just ESP, I believe. So the futures charts are literally the exact. You're trading the same thing. It's just the ticker is the only difference. The name of the pairs are the only difference in futures, but it's all the same thing. Welcome to the stream, Cloud. Appreciate you being here. Jessica, welcome, welcome. Again, we'll get started in 40 seconds. 7 p.m. Just wanted to give everybody a few minutes to join. Again, guys, any questions, let me know. Should be a pretty quick stream. Shouldn't take longer than 45 minutes to an hour. We won't go through any rants today, I promise. We already did that yesterday. Shit, I just closed the YouTube chat by accident. No. Accidente, accidente. Alright, we're good. I pulled it back up. Thanks. New to trading, still learning about the charts. Also, Evasive recommended you to start learning, so I'm here. Ready to learn. Perfect. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, Booba's a real one for that. How long you been on the charts, Cloud? Like literally brand new, or you have some months into it already? Literally 1 week? Nah, that's perfect though. I'll say this and then we'll get started. You know, it's a lot easier for a brand new trader to start learning compared to a trader who has months or even years of just bad information trying to learn something new. Right? And it's the same in everything, right? Even in sports, if you play sports, right? How many teammates or even yourself, you know, you develop bad habits, and in whatever sport it is that you play, right? I played baseball, so I give you examples of baseball, but like the way that a person holds the bat when they're up to bat, you know, if they're not holding it the right way, that's just the way that they're used to holding the bat, right? So it's once you teach them a new way to hold it, you know, for better positioning and for more power, etc., etc., it's a lot harder for them to learn that new technique when they already have the bad habits that they already have. It's the same way in trading. It's very difficult to break bad habits and learn something new. So trading, I've always said it, and it's something that, you know, over the years of teaching people, it's a lot easier to teach people who are brand new to trading compared to people who already have years or months of bad information. But it's really not that difficult. It's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. But it's just about the time and the dedication you put into it, just like any other sport, any other job. It gets easier the more you do it. Well, we don't gotta laugh at them in the chat, man. Everyone has to start. You know, you were once a beginner at trading, just like everybody else. Nobody came out of the womb knowing how to trade. We all had to start somewhere, so. You're already doing yourself a favor by putting in the time and taking it serious, you know what I mean? The people here in the chat could tell you, right? Kendall has been with us for a year now. Jessica's been with us since the beginning of the year. You know, on and off, but she's been with us since mid, not mid-year, like about what? You said April? It's about like she joined in about April. You have a few people in here as well that, you know, that are usually in here. Albert's been with us for a year. Muhammad's been with us for about a year as well. So, and Albert just passed his challenge accounts for the prop firms, right? So, and that was a year of dedication. So, what time do you come on? So for this session, which is just us updating the charts, getting ready for the trading session, I start at 7 p.m. Usually about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. And the morning time for the live trading session, where we go over, you know, where we actually trade live, that's at 7 a.m. Eastern. But for this week, I did say I want to start trading Asia and London, so I might be trading Asia and London session on stream. So this week I could be live at 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning. It just depends on what we see. Congrats, Albert. It was Muhammad. Congrats to Muhammad. But Albert's doing good too, though. But I don't think he's trading live just yet. I think he's still in the learning phase of everything still. But alright guys, let's get started. So like I said, the first pair we'll go over AU. Again, we'll just talk about the market makers pattern, get everybody up to speed so you guys can see and understand what it is that I'm looking for and why I'm looking for what I see, right? So for AU, just talking about the present time, right? What we see currently on the chart, right? We know that we're in an overall downtrend. We had the first level, the first push down to the bottom, the first zone of consolidation where price is moving sideways, right? Then we have the second push, which is price trending, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then price gave us the second zone of consolidation where price is just moving sideways. And then we have the start of push number 3, which is the last and final push in the downtrend pattern, where we had the break of the zone of consolidation where price gave us a lower low. And right now we're just waiting for price to give us a lower high point so we could start taking those trades from the lower high down into the lower low, right? So we have again our first push, level 1, first zone of consolidation, which is A1, our second push, right, level 2, A2, which is the second zone of consolidation on the downtrend, and then we have the start of level 3, and we are expecting price to give us this lower high into the lower low to reach our previous peak lows down here, right? So now the question is, well, where is that lower high going to be set, right? And whatever your strategy is, right? People who use fibs, you know, a lot of people who use fibs will tell you that, oh, we're just looking for a 50% retracement, right? The golden ratio zone. You know, you have the EMAs, which is what we use. That's used as a little indicator to kind of give us an edge to see where price is going to give us a pullback to, right? And in this case, my first point of interest as to where the lower high is going to be set was on the 800 EMA. However, on AU, we know that price left a gap at the top of the market. And once again, gaps in the market always need to be filled. The question with gaps is, when is the gap going to be filled? We see it time and time again that sometimes gaps are printed, right? The market's open, if it opens up with a gap and it fills it up right away. Sometimes it fills it up later on in the day, right? At 5 p.m., 6 p.m. when the market's open, it has a gap and it doesn't fill the gap until the NYC session. Sometimes it could take a couple days. Sometimes it could take a couple weeks. It could take a couple months. Sometimes it could be there for a year, 2 years, right? In this case, this gap was printed last year in October. So it's been a year already. So the second point of interest as to where I'm expecting price to continue to give us this lower high point, and again, the lower high point that we're looking for on the daily time frame. Once again, when you're looking at the trends, we have lower low, lower high, lower low, lower low. Price gave us an equal high up here, right? And then price never broke these highs and price never broke these lows, right? Until we got the break here that gave us this lower low. So we know that we're trading lower low, lower high, lower low, and all we're looking for is for price to give us another lower high point to go back into the lower lows. So now, the main question that everybody should have: how do you know when that lower high is set? Well, we know that lower high is set once price on the lower time frames, right, the 4-hour, the 30-minute time frame, once the lower time frame starts giving us lower lows and lower highs, right? Because we know that price going from a lower low into a lower high, price is on an uptrend, right? It's pushing from the lower low to a lower high. So right now, if we go down to the 4-hour, if we go down to the 30-minute, well, the 30-minute is going to be downtrend, but if we go down to the 4-hour, we could see that price is still higher high and higher low, right? Higher high, higher low, and higher high. Everything is color coordinated so you guys aren't confused. The daily time frame is the gray boxes, right? These gray boxes at the highs and gray boxes at the lows. Those are the daily time frame highs and daily time frame lows. The 4-hour highs and lows are the blue boxes, right? And the trend that you see is the 4-hour. And then on the 30-minute, the 30-minute highs and 30-minute lows are the red boxes, right? So right now on the 4-hour, we're still making higher high, higher low, higher high, and we are still at a higher low. We know that at these higher lows, why we were expecting price to give us this steep of a pullback is because price gave us a daily engulfing candle at these lows that price tapped into, and we could see that price is creating a double bottom. So as of right now, we still know that we're on an uptrend for AU, and we could right now still be expecting price to give us a steeper push to the top side to fill this gap at the top of the market, right? Again, we're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. On the daily time frame, we could already see that price is giving us exhaustion candles, right? If you know candlestick analysis, exhaustion candles, you already know price isn't going to go lower than that. So let's go to the 4-hour. We understand we don't have no continuations as of right now on the 4-hour time frame. Last week, price was just moving sideways. And then on the 30-minute time frame, price is still giving us lower low, lower high, lower low, and price has come to the highs, rejected the highs, came back to the lows, tapped into the 30-minute lows, gave us a rejection, and we came back to the top side. So right now, price is just in sideways movement. We're in a little range. So right now for AU, I'm hands off. Now, again, when I'll start looking to take trades on AU, and for the people that are new here, once again, I do not trade counter trends. Meaning, if the overall market maker's pattern is downtrend, like it is on AUD/USD, I'm only looking for short positions. I'm not looking for long positions. I'm not trading against the overall trend. So the only way I'll take a trade on AU is if price gives us an inducement of these highs and starts making lower lows and lower highs. We know that we could take these trades from the top of the zone of consolidation to the bottom of the zone of consolidation. If price gives us a break above these highs, then perfect. We know that price is still going to continue that uptrend push to give us that higher high on the daily time frame, right? Or if price gives us the inducement of the high and price goes back down, I'll start looking to take trades once price breaks below the 4-hour lows to then continue back down to the bottom. And this is where we'll start looking for that 4-hour change of character and break of structure to let us know that the overall trend has started back down to the lows. So we still have a little bit to go on AU. We'll be patient with it. Let me go ahead and delete some of these drawings because I have a lot drawn here. Let me know if that made sense, guys. Again, I'm not going to do this with every single pair, going over the market maker's pattern, but it's the exact same on every pair. The only difference, some pairs are on an uptrend, some pairs are on a downtrend. But the main thing is the same on every single pair. I treat every single pair on the list the same way, whether it's crypto, indexes, commodities, metals, it's all traded the exact same way. So I'll give you guys a minute in the chat. Any questions, let me know. Anything you guys want me to explain again, anything that didn't make any sense, let me know in the chat. Jessica, you too specifically, since we had that one-on-one, let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if that made sense. I'll give everybody 40 seconds in the chat. We'll start at the 21-minute mark on the stream. Understood? Alright, perfect. Cloud, Kendall, FOMC Forex Academy, you guys good? So far so good, everything is understood. Again, I'm not going to stop after every pair. We're going to get through this pretty quick today, so use this time wisely, guys. But again, if you have any questions throughout the stream, just let me know. I'll be glad to stop and give you guys a minute. Kendall says yes. Okay, cool. And remember, there's no such thing as a stupid question that doesn't exist in trading. Every question is a good question. If you're confused about something, ask the question. Right? If you treat trading like school, where you think you could just stay confused and the day of the test is okay because we could use ChatGPT and Quizlet and Mathway, trading is going to humble you very quickly. You cannot be embarrassed to ask questions when it comes to trading. You have to know it. This is a game of either you know the rules or you know the rules. There's no in between. The day you take a trade and you don't know why you took the trade, that's the day you're going to blow an account. And I would rather feel stupid and ask questions than feel stupid and lose trades. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like losing money. Right, so no questions. All right, let's go to the next one. So AUD CAD, daily time frame. We know that we are in the first zone of consolidation on a downtrend. We had the double top, first push to the bottom, first zone of consolidation on the 800 EMA, where price has been rejecting highs and rejecting lows the entire time. Previously, price rejected the lows one last time and we went back to the top side. On the lower time frame, now that we go to the 4 hour, we know that we have no continuations on the daily time frame as of yet. On the 4 hour time frame, price gave us another internal zone of consolidation. It gave us a break above, gave us that push, gave us a retest, right? Gave us a higher high, higher low, gave us another higher high inducement, and this is where price is now again rejecting highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, and rejecting lows once again. We have no continuations on the 4 hour time frame either. We finished on a no net for the week. Price was just moving sideways all of last week. And on the 30-minute time frame, price gave us higher high, higher low, higher high, then it gave us a lower low change of character, right? Price never broke these lows. They came back up, went back to these highs, gave us a change of character to the top side, right? Price never broke these highs. Price never broke these lows until we came back to these lows over here. Price, once we made these 30-minute lows, we could see that price has just been giving us inducements. It gave us a triple bottom, gave us an inducement of the 30-minute low, and now we could see price pushing back to the top side. So ACAD right now still looks like it wants to move back to the top side. And again, I'm not taking any trades going counter trend. AUD CAD is going to be a pair that on the 30-minute, once we get the change of character and we get a break of structure to the bottom side, that's when I'll start looking to take these trades back to the bottom. But again, we had the change of character lower low. On the break of structure, price just gave us an inducement, and we could see that on the lower time frame, price gave us lower low, lower high, lower low, change of character higher high, higher low. It gave us a higher high again, higher low retest, and continued that push to the top side. And if we go down to the 5-minute, which is the internal structure that we see here, we could see that price gave us lower low, lower high, lower low, change of character higher high, higher low. It gave us a higher high, right? Break of structure. It gave us the retest. As soon as it gave us the retest, it went right back to the top side. So AUD CAD is doing exactly what it needs to be doing. Once we see that the trend has shifted from an uptrend back down to the downtrend, that's when I'll start looking to take these trades. So basically, we see our market makers pattern on our daily time frame, get alignments on our 4 hour and 30 minutes. Yep, that's correct. Sorry, I'm seeing the chat. I got you. I just want to make sure I get through what I have to say before I answer any questions in the chat. But yep, you're absolutely correct. Right? You use the daily time frame to see where you're at overall. Right? Once you see where you're at overall on the daily time frame, right, you start aligning that with the 4 hour time frame and with the 30-minute. And on the 30-minute, that's where you want to start looking for the entries. right? You use the 30-minute time frame and the 5-minute time frame to start looking for those entries. You're absolutely correct. You didn't see mine? Did you have another question that was not what you were saying about the market maker pattern? Or did you have another question before that? Let me know. Let me know if that answered your question, FOMC. Again, I don't mind going back and asking question and answering the questions. I don't mind at all. So let me know if you had another question, and I'll answer it. There's no problem. Right. So let's keep going. Again, guys, any questions? Just let me know. So for EA, we are in level 3. We're in the last and final push on an uptrend. Right. We had the double bottom, push 1, first zone of consolidation, push number 2, second zone of consolidation, and we have push number 3. We know that we're expecting price to reach our previous peak highs up over here. So we are still expecting price to continue this push to the top side. As we zoom in and we start seeing what price is doing, we can see that on a lower time frame, price is stuck in a little range where price has been rejecting lows, rejecting highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, rejecting lows, going to the middle, coming back down to the lows, rejecting the lows, going back to the highs, giving us a rejection of the high, and it gave us an exhaustion candle, right? This is already our first indication that, okay, price is still not ready to break through this zone of consolidation. And we can see that right after price gave us that exhaustion candle, price came right back down to the bottom. As we go down to the 4-hour, again, the 4-hour time frame, that zone of consolidation is going to be just a little bit clearer, right? If you zoom out and just look at this zone here, we can see that this is where price has been rejecting the lows, rejecting the highs. There is no trend. Price here is just moving sideways. We had 2 weeks of rise. So, okay, cool. We have 2 weeks of rise. Could we be looking for a continuation back to the top side? Already seeing that on the daily time frame, price already gave us a rejection of the highs with an exhaustion candle. On the 4-hour time frame, price also gave us a rejection of the highs and it gave us an exhaustion candle. And we also know that last week, price opened up with a gap in the market. Once again, gaps in the market reset the trend. So technically speaking, this 3rd week push to the top side is very low probability. So we already know that as of right now, looking for price to give us another push to the top side is low probability. It's a high risk trade to look for. And again, we use our 30-minute time frame as confluence. Right? On the 30-minute time frame, price gave us the lower low, lower low, change of character, higher high, higher low, and it gave us a break of structure, higher high to the top side. However, once again, I'm not expecting the continuations back to the top side because we have the gap in the market and because price already gave us the rejections and the exhaustion candles at the top of the zone. Not only that, on the 30-minute time frame, we could use patterns as another indication as well, right? Just another indicator. A lot of traders, what does this look like? Shoulder, head, shoulder. This is a downtrend pattern that the market will always print on the chart. And what did price do? It gave us a break below the shoulder, head, shoulder. So that's another indication letting us know that, hey, right now is not the best time to be looking for price to go up. Right? We already have the exhaustion candles at the lows, at the highs, and exhaustion candles at the highs, and we have the break of the shoulder, head, shoulder going down. So right now for EA, we just got to be patient. As soon as we start seeing higher highs and higher lows once again, that's when I'll start looking to take these trades. And right now for EA, the good thing about EA is that we are still trading higher high and higher low. Remember, we're still trading higher high, higher low, and higher high. So could price just be going steeper for a steeper pullback somewhere in this area here to then continue that uptrend push? Absolutely. So that's what we'll be waiting for. If price gives us a steeper pullback, gives us a higher low somewhere here, and then we start seeing higher highs and higher lows, then perfect. We'll start taking those trades. Price could give us a pullback down to these lows. Same thing. If it gives us a higher low in this point and starts making higher highs and higher lows on the 30-minute time frame, then perfect. We'll start taking those trades back to the top side. Price could go lower and give you an inducement of these lows, right? And after the inducement, it could continue the push to the top side. So it's just about waiting for price to reach your point of interest on the chart. Once price reaches your point of interest, it doesn't mean, oh, like for example, you have some traders who are looking at a trade here, right? I'm just going to give you guys a random example. Let's say that you have a fair value gap here, right? How many traders have you seen that, oh, as soon as price taps into my fair value gap, I'm going to take the trade, right? And then price goes straight to stop loss. Why? Because price internally, if you go down to the 5-minute or the 1-minute time frame, right? Price internally, even though it tapped into your point of interest, price is still giving you lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high. What does that mean? Once price taps into your fair value gap or into your engulfing candle, or it taps into whatever your point of interest is when you're looking for an entry, I'm not looking to take a trade as soon as it gets into my point of interest. I'm going to wait for price, right? Let's say I'll draw it out here so it can make sense for you guys. And let me know if this makes sense. And I'll read the chat now. Let me just get through this. Right? Price is making lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Boom, lower low. It gets into your point of interest. I'm not going to take the trade here as soon as it taps into my point of interest. I'm going to wait for the trend to turn around. Meaning, I'm going to wait for price to give me a higher high, higher low, right? Change of character. I'm going to wait for price to give me another higher high, higher low break of structure. This is where I'm going to get in to then continue the push to the top side. I'm always going to wait for a change of character and a break of structure before I take that trade. If price gets into your point of interest and just continues to make lower lows and lower highs, then you know price is going to go straight down into your stop loss. So it's very important to wait for price to turn around. If you're looking for price to go into a downtrend and price is still making higher highs and higher lows, you have to wait for price to give you the lower low change of character, lower high, and wait for price to give you another lower low break of structure, and then get in on the lower high to go back down into the lower low. So I hope you guys understand that point as well. I'm going to go ahead and delete some of the drawings so it's not all clustered on the chart. And again, guys, let me know if that made sense. Thanks, Chief. Understood? Okay, perfect. No problem, my brother. I was thinking my messages are not sending. It's all good. Okay. Kendall says we're on a 50 on the 4 hour, so that's definitely an option. All 3 points of interest. Yep, on EA. You're absolutely correct. Right? And why he's talking about the 50 EMA, just so we could talk about that as well. We look for entries on the EMAs as well. In this example, we're in level 3 on an uptrend. Right? In level 3, we're looking for price to bounce off the 50 EMA. So right now on the daily time frame, we're close to the 50 EMA. On the 4 hour time frame, we're right on the 50 EMA as well. So it is a point of interest. And on the 30-minute, we're not on it. We're right below it still. But again, just because price is on the 50 EMA does not mean we're taking a trade right away. No. Right? The white line, nope. The aqua line. The white line is the 200 EMA. Again, guys, always remember, indicators on your screen are not bad. There's a lot of people online that are going to tell you indicators are horrible. No. First and foremost, indicators are just training wheels on the charts. Right? Indicators on the charts are just to help you see things clear. But you always have to look at market structure. Market structure is the #1 thing when trading. Higher highs and higher lows, lower lows and lower highs. Without market structure, you're not going to be able to trade. Always remember, the language of the charts, it's not English, it's not Spanish, it's not Chinese, right? The language of the charts, it's market structure. is the candlesticks, right? Candlestick analysis, market structure. Seeing price make lower lows and lower highs and higher highs, higher lows. If the chart is showing you higher highs and higher lows, it's telling you it's in an uptrend. If price is making lower lows and lower highs, it's telling you that it's in a downtrend. So once you understand and you're able to see market structure, trading gets so much easier. Because the chart is always telling you what it wants to do. It's just whether or not you can read it. Right? If you don't speak Spanish and I'm speaking to you in Spanish, I'm telling you something in Spanish, you just don't understand it because you don't speak the language. Right? The same way as English. If you don't speak English and I'm speaking to you in English, you're not going to be able to understand me because you don't understand English. Same thing in the charts. If you don't understand market structure, the charts are telling you exactly what it's going to do. You just don't understand it because you don't understand the language of the charts. Right? So I hope that makes sense. So let's keep going. We still got a little bit to go with EA. We'll be patient. We'll wait for price to give us our confirmations to be able to take a trade. ECAD, right now we are in previous peak high territory. Right? The previous pattern from a downtrend going back to an uptrend. Right? On the downtrend, gave you the double top, gave you the first push, gave you the first zone of consolidation, the second push, the second zone of consolidation, and push number 3. After push number 3, it started the uptrend. The first push to the top side, the first zone of consolidation where price is moving sideways, the second push to the top side, a smaller second zone of consolidation, and then you have push number 3 that gave us the push into the previous peak highs. Right now, when we zoom in and we look at what price is doing, price previously gave us higher high, higher low, and let's go down to the lower time frame here so we can see it a little bit better. Because the structure here is on the 4-hour time frame, price gave us higher high, higher low. Let's mark it up. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then price gave us another higher high that also filled in the gap that was at the top of the market, so we could delete this already. Right? And price gave us another higher high. So right now we still know we're in an uptrend. Now, once again, we're in level 3, we're on an uptrend. Our first point of interest as to where this higher low is going to be set is on the 50 EMA, which we're right on it right now. So perfect. Now we go down to the 30-minute time frame. What do we see on the 30-minute time frame? Price gave us lower low, lower high, lower low, change of character, higher high, higher low, and it just continued. Continued, up until these highs over here. So we know that we're trading 30-minute time frame. We're trading between this higher low here all the way to the top side because price kept trending higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? This was all part of the same trend to the top side. So right now we understand that price is going from a higher high point down into a higher low. On Friday we had a day of drop. Today, Monday, price gave us a second day of drop. Price went down today. So perfect. Right now, what are we looking for? We're looking for price to give us a set higher low. Once price starts giving us higher highs and higher lows on the lower time frame, which is where we're going to see structure start turning around, this is where I'll start looking to take trades again. Price gave us lower low, lower high, lower low, change of character, higher high, higher low. It gave us higher high here. Let me draw this out again, right? High, low, high. Didn't give us a break, a valid break. Gave us testing candles. Then price came down and gave you a change of character, lower low, lower high. So we're still on a downtrend, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low. Once EURUSD starts giving us higher highs and higher lows on the lower time frame, that's when I'll start looking to take these trades again. But once again, all we're looking for is for price to give us a set higher low on the 4-hour time frame, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high. All we're looking for is for price to give us a set higher low. Once price gives us a set higher low and we start seeing higher highs and higher lows on the lower time frame, that's when I'll start looking to take these trades again to go back to the top side into the higher high. Here was Goody Muhammad. Welcome, my brother. Welcome. Can you send the watch list later? Yep, I got you. I'll put it in the Discord. And as a matter of fact, I'll be posting the link for the Discord. I'll be posting it in the chat right now for you guys. If you guys are interested in joining the Discord, the link has been posted in the chat. Free to join. We'll be posting, you know, the watch list in there. Everything that you guys need is going to be in the Discord. Thanks, man. See you tomorrow, my brother. Have a good rest of your night. And make sure you guys like the stream, please. Make sure you guys like the stream. EURUSD. FOMC, you still in here? Let me know. We're going over your pair. Let me know if you have any questions in regards to, as a matter of fact, I'll give you a few seconds here before I go over EU. Do you have any questions in specific about EU or no? Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Kendall. I appreciate it. Do you have any questions in specific with EU, or do you just want me to do my breakdown? Let me know. I'll give you 30 seconds to before we keep going. And same thing for GU. We'll get ahead of everybody. Let me, if you have any specific questions about GU as well, let me know, since I know you asked about that pair. You have any specific questions, or do you just want me to do the breakdown? Let me know. And again, this goes for everybody else. Do you guys have any questions, anything you guys want me to go over? Just let me know. All right, no questions in the chat. Perfect. So EU, we're going to start speeding up a little bit here, guys. We've already been live for 43 minutes. So for EU, we're in level 2 on an uptrend. Right? Previously, we had a double top. We had the first push, the first zone of consolidation, the second push, the second zone of consolidation, into push number 3 to the bottom. Then price turned around, gave us the first push to the top side, the second zone of consolidation. We had the push to the top side that gave us the break of structure, that gave us higher high, higher low, higher high. At these higher highs, price decided to just give us sideways movement, which we see a little bit clear on the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, we can see that price has been coming up to the top side, giving us rejection to the highs, going back to the bottom, consolidating in the middle, coming back to the highs, giving us a rejection of the highs. It never gave us a valid break. It was just one candle and that's it. No other candle gave us a break above. We had this green candle here, but the green candle did not close above the wick of the first green candle. So these were all testing candles. And right after, price printed an exhaustion candle. Candlestick analysis. Make sure you guys know what an exhaustion candle looks like. Right, this red candle here with the big wick to the top side and a smaller body is an exhaustion candle. And then price came back to the middle of this zone, where price came back, rejected these lows, and then started pushing back to the top side, right? EU also left a gap at the top of the market. So could we be targeting these highs to see price go a little bit higher? Absolutely. Once again, does that gap have to be filled right away? No. We could still be expecting, if we go back to the daily time frame, understanding that on the daily time frame we're trading higher high. Let's mark this with a gray so we're not confused, right? On the daily time frame, we're trading higher high, higher low into these higher highs over here. So could price give us a steeper pullback, understanding that we have a gap at the bottom of the market here? Could price give us a steeper pullback down here to give us a higher low in this area to then continue the push back to the top side? Absolutely. And again, the lower time frame, now that we see where we're at and what we could be expecting, if we go down into the 30-minute time frame, what do we want to start seeing is higher highs and higher lows. And on the 30-minute time frame, price gave us lower low, lower high, lower low, right? Then price gave us the change of character, higher high to the top side, right? Here on the 30, I did have this little zone marked as a higher high, higher low, higher high, just to have a little bit more of an aggressive approach once price comes down to these lows, and we could still use it, right? Even though price came down and it gave us a change of character to the bottom side and it gave us a lower low, we still don't have a valid break of these lows. So could this be like what we were explaining yesterday with this drawing here, right? Could price give us an inducement of these lows, right? Just testing candles of the lows and then start making the internal. This is where now we'll go into the 5-minute and the 1-minute time frame. This is where I would want to start seeing price give us higher highs and higher lows. And currently on the 5-minute time frame, we have lower low, lower high, lower low. Price still hasn't broken these lows, right? Price still hasn't broken these lows, and price hasn't given us a break of these highs. If price, let's say it starts giving us lower low, lower high, lower low, and then price gives us a change of character, higher high, it gives us a higher low, and it gives us another break, higher high. Once price gives us that valid break and another retest, this is where I'll start getting into the trade to go back to the top side. And we'll leave this drawing here. So let me delete this one, right? Load, and perfect. And this here. This is what I'll be looking for on EU. Once I get price to start making higher highs and higher lows again, that's when I'll start looking to take the trade to go back to the top side. Understanding that we're trading between this high and whatever low is set down here. And then for today, price ended up giving us a second day a drop, going counter trend. So we'll be patient. We'll wait for price to do what it has to do. And if price gives us a valid break of these lows, then we know that it's just gonna go lower. It's gonna go back down into the bottom and give us a steeper pullback on the higher time frame. So we'll be patient with EU. For GA on the daily time frame, once again, we know that we are in peak high territory. We're at the highest point in the market. Price already completed the 3 pushes to the top side. Price already reached our previous peak highs, which were up here, right? On the downtrend, we had push number 1, first zone of consolidation, push number 2, second zone of consolidation, push number 3. Price went from the downtrend back up to the uptrend. Push number 1, first zone of consolidation, push number 2, second zone of consolidation, into push number 3 that reached our previous peak highs, and in push number 3, price decided to now give us a zone of consolidation, and that's okay, right? On the daily time frame, we know that we're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high. So technically speaking, right now on GA, we're still on an uptrend pattern. We're still on an uptrend push. So what I'm looking for on GA is for price to continue the uptrend pushes. If price decides to continue to make higher highs and higher lows, then we'll continue to take those trades. Very similar to what we were seeing on EA. We have 2 weeks of rise. Could we be expecting price to give us a 3rd week push to the top side? It could still happen. However, understanding the fact that we're in peak high territory, in peak high territory is where the market makers are trapping traders. The second thing to see, very similar to EA, on the second push to the top side, it gave us a gap in the market on the 2nd week. Gaps in the market reset the trend. So technically speaking, this 3rd week push to the top side is low probability. Make sure you guys write that down in your notes. Gaps in the market reset the trend. Whether it's the monthly time or the daily time frame looking at the month to month basis, if it's on the 4-hour time frame looking for the week to week basis, even if it's a gap on the 30-minute time frame, it resets the trend. If there's 2 days of rise and on the 2nd day there's a gap in the market, or on the 3rd day the market opens with a gap, it resets the trend. So that 372, that 3rd day push, is very low probability. Same thing on the weeks. There's 2 weeks of rise, but on the 2nd week or on the 3rd week there's a gap in the market, it resets the trend. So that 3rd week push to the top side is very low probability. Same thing on the daily time frame. If you have 2 months of rise or 2 months of drop, same thing with the days and the weeks, and there's a gap on the 2nd week or on the opening of the 3rd week, or on the 2nd month to the 3rd month, the gap resets the trend. So that 3rd push is low probability for it to happen. So we want to be very careful trading GA. And then on the 30-minute time frame, once again, very similar to the other pairs, we are still trading between the break of structure higher high and higher low. We're trading between this higher low here and these higher highs over here. So currently, we're still on an uptrend. So all we're looking for is for price to give us a set higher low. Once price reaches our point of interest as to where we assume that price is going to give us the higher low, that's when I want to start seeing price on the lower time frame, which again, if you zoom in on the 30-minute time frame, just look at the candlesticks. You have lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Once price on that lower time frame starts giving us the change of character and break of structure to continue to make higher highs and higher lows, that's when I'll start looking to take the trade. And very similar to the other pairs, this also gave us a shoulder, a head, right? And another shoulder down here. And price gave us the break of the shoulder head shoulder. So right now, GA is still giving us confirmations that price is going to go lower. So again, I'm going to wait for price to turn around. I'm going to wait for price to start making higher highs and higher lows before I take a trade on GA. We got to be very patient. So GA right now, just got to wait it out. Right? You said there was a 4-hour engulfing. Yeah, I saw that here. Right? There's a 4-hour engulfing right before the break happened. So we want to be very careful with GA. DOPUSD. Yo, you were supposed to give me the signal when you did the session in the Discord. And you didn't give me the signal. That's kind of crazy out of you. But it's all good. Again, guys, any questions so far about any pairs that we've done, let me know. We've already been on the stream for an hour. I'm going to start speeding up just a little bit. Right? Not only did he not give us a signal, but he stayed mute today. Like, what a fucking guy, man. Yeah, I know, I saw him. I saw Jessica joined in too for a little bit. Any questions before we continue? I know FOMC Academy. I don't know if you're still in here, but we just went over EU. I know you had a question of EU. You have a question on GU. Are you still here? Let me know. Kenny came over asking questions about Bitcoin. What'd you tell him? I did a one-on-one with Jessica earlier today, right before the session, and I told her, I'm like, yo, he's getting soft. If one of us used to go to him and start asking questions about something we have no business asking questions, he'll tell us straight up, like, I'm not answering that question. You're not there yet. Like, all right, man. I'll be back. He used to fucking tell us to fuck off, literally just like that. Like, fuck you, I'm not telling you nothing else. Like, alright. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. News pumps fear in people. Yup. Same thing that I'd be telling them. Again, everything you tell to everybody is the same thing I say. Because I can't say nothing different, yo. I learned from you. I can't copy what Q Bank says. I can't copy what... I could only copy 2 people in trading. You and Steve fucking Morrow, man. That's it. There's only 2 people I could copy. Tell Kendall, he does know. Trust me, bro. I talk about you all the time that I can. Trust me. I tell everybody. Everything that you have said to me in the last 4 years that I've been doing trading consistently. Everything you've told me, everything that I've learned, I say the same shit. Because again, there's nothing different. There's nothing difference of what I say to what you say. I'm a robot, copy and paste. Everything we've talked about, that shit is there in my brain. Like, I still remember the day you taught me the type 1, type 2, type 3 and how I felt. I was like, damn, bro, you waited all this time to fucking teach me the type 1 patterns, the type 2 patterns, and the type 3 patterns. This shit is the most easiest thing to see. I can't fucking believe you waited that long to tell me that. But I remember that day. You're like, yeah, here you go. You're ready. Here's the next thing you gotta learn. It's like, all right. And it was right after I took a bullshit trade because you were like, yo, you don't know this yet. Here. And then it made sense. Like, I got into the trade too early. Scream that shit in your head. Facts. You know, having girls calms a man down. I don't agree to that. I think it gives you more of a headache, but it all depends, man. It all depends what chick you got with you. Because if she's only causing problems, man. Alright, let's keep going, guys. So GCAD, we are in level 3 on an uptrend. We're still expecting price to reach our previous peak highs at these highs. We still have a long way to go, right? We had push number 1, first zone consolidation, push number 2, second zone consolidation, into push number 3, where we could see that price here now is giving us just a smaller zone of consolidation, but we could still see higher high, higher high, higher high. So we are still on an uptrend on GCAD. It's just a little ugly, but it's okay, right? It's still giving us the uptrend pushes, right? And it's still giving us higher low, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So right now for GCAD, we just got to be patient. Just got to be patient. Wait for a steeper pullback, but it's doing exactly what it needs to do. Level 3 still bouncing off the 50 EMA, right on or around it. We're still on it. We had 2 months of rise, this month being the 3rd month. As soon as the monthly candle opened, it came up, came down, came back up, right? So it's been a little bit of a tricky pair to trade, right? Price action has kind of been a little off-putting, but that's okay, right? On the 4-hour time frame, same thing. We know that we were trading higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, back into the higher highs, right? So we know that on the 4-hour time frame, we're trading between this higher low here and this higher high. We have no continuations on the 4-hour time frame. Price gave us the break of the 4-hour time frame. We're trading at a higher high. So could we be expecting price to give us a higher low? Absolutely. On the 30-minute time frame, again, we're trading at a higher high. Keep that in mind, right? 30-minute time frame, at one point price was giving us higher high, higher low, higher high. Then it came down and gave us a change of character, lower low. Price never broke these lows. Price never broke these highs until price came up and gave us a change of character back to the top side, higher high. Very similar to the other pairs, as we've been saying. This one's a little bit uglier, but we can still see the same thing. A little shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. I'll be looking for price to break below these lows. If price gives us an inducement of the lows like we're looking at right now, and it starts giving us higher highs and higher lows, sorry, I had to sneeze. And it gives us the internal higher highs and higher lows, that's when I'll start looking to take the trades back to the top side. However, if price breaks below these lows, then that's okay. Once again, we're trading at a higher high, right? Let's not get confused. We're still trading at a higher high. Could we still be looking for price to give us a steeper pullback into a higher low to then continue to push to the top side? 100%, right? Also, why did I say keep in consideration that we're at a higher high? We had 3 days of rise. On the 3rd day, price gave us a rise drop, right? This is another entry criteria that we look for, to look for a 4th day push back to the top side. There's 2 things to note about price. The number one thing, again, like I said, we're at a higher high. Once price is at a higher high, are we expecting price to give us higher high, higher high, higher high? Or are we looking for price to give us higher high, higher low to then make a higher high? On top of the market structure, we could also see how steep of a pullback price gave us on the 3rd day. The fact that price gave us such a steep pullback on the 3rd day, that's another indication that it's very unlikely for price to give us that 4th day push after price had given us such a steep pullback on that 3rd day, which was Friday, right? And then today, Monday, price was just moving sideways. It did give us a day of drop, right? Very slight day of drop, but it did finish at the bottom. So we'll mark this up as a day of drop, and we'll be patient with GCAT. As soon as we start seeing higher highs and higher lows again, that's when I'll start looking to take the trades. I mean, daughters. Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I was looking at the weekly structure move. That should look clean as day on EUROCAT. Another anchor plus BOS 3 days of rise, 3x ADR 80 pips. ADR times 3, 240. Alright, let's keep going, guys. GJ still on an uptrend. We had higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. On the push back to the higher high, price decided to just give us a zone of consolidation. Price broke last week. Broke the zone of consolidation. Boom. Gave us the break, and it gave us the higher high. Perfect. After a higher high, we're looking for a higher low. And again, the same questions are being asked. How far back is the pullback going to be? Is it going to be a simple 23.6, 38.2 pullback? Is it going to be a 50% pullback? Is it going to be, you know, when you're looking at the fibs, a 78.6 to a 80% pullback? This is what we're looking for, right? We know that GJ has a gap at the bottom of the market. And again, very similar to ECAD, very similar to EU, very similar to GU, which are all pairs that have gaps in the market. We just have to continue to look at market structure. Right now for GJ, once we go to the 30-minute time frame, price is still on a downtrend, right? Price gave us lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, then price came back down. Now, what am I looking for to continue to trade GJ back to the top side? I need to start seeing the lower time frame give us clean higher highs and higher lows. But also, at this point on the 30-minute time frame, I need to see price start giving me the change of characters and the break of structures to the top side on the 30-minute time frame. Right? I like where we're at now on GJ because price already gave us lower low, lower high. Right? So initially you would think, well, if price is going in for a lower high here, then we're going to continue to see price go down. And you're correct. However, once again, you just got to continue to look at market structure. Right? 5-minute, 1-minute time frame, we had higher high, higher low, higher high. Right? If you go down to the 1 minute, you had lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high change of character. And we're still trading between this low and this high. Now, the confirmation for me to start looking for price to continue the push to the top side is going to be if price, again, we're trading lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high change of character. Let's say price gives us this higher low here and it gives us a break of structure above these highs here. This is where I'll start looking to take these trades to go back up to the highs into the 30-minute highs. Once price reaches these 30-minute highs, this is where I'll start looking to get out of the trade, and I'll be looking to get in again once price breaks above the 30-minute highs. If price gives us an inducement of the 30-minute highs and it starts making lower lows and lower highs, this is where I'll start looking to take the trade again to go back to the bottom side, right back down to the downside. So GJ is definitely one that I'm going to keep on my watch list for today. This could be a very easy trade for sure. Right, and then for today, price just moved sideways. It gave us a day of no net. We'll be patient with GJ. Once we get those confirmations, that's when I'll start looking to take those trades again. For GU, I don't think the FOMC guy is in here anymore, but this was a pair that he had a question on. He also had a question on DXY, but if he's not in here, I'm not gonna touch DXY since I don't even have that chart on the watch list. And again, guys, pretty much the last pair for us is going to be NU. These last couple pairs on the list up until oil, I'm not really touching them, right? US 30, CAD, ZAR, gold, Bitcoin. I'm not really touching those pairs. So pretty much this is the end of the session, man. So any questions before I go over GU, let me know. Type 1 in the chat if you guys are good. If you guys have a question, type the question in the chat. Anything you guys want to ask, any specific question you guys have, let me know. I'll give you guys a minute in the chat. Again, type 1 if you're good to go. If you're not good and you have a question, let me know. All right, and I'll wait for everybody. Let me see, participants. We have, okay. I'll wait for everybody to be that they're good. Jessica says she's good. Kendall says he's good. All right. Muhammad said he's not in here anymore. F1MC person, you still in here? Let me know. All right, seems like everybody's good. So now GU, we are in level 2 on an uptrend. What is this fat line that I have here? For GU, once again, we had the double top. We had the first push, first zone of consolidation, push number 2, second zone of consolidation, push number 3. Back up to the uptrend, we have push number 1, first zone of consolidation, the break of structure that started push number 2, higher high, higher low, and this is the continuation of level 2 up to the top side, where we know price gave us, again on the daily time frame, higher high, higher low, higher high. And all we're looking for is for price to give us a higher low. Now, level 2, we're looking for price to bounce off the 200 EMA. So we've reached our first point of interest as to where we could be expecting price to give us a higher low back into a higher high to the top side. Now again, just because price reached our point of interest, just because price tapped into the 200 EMA, does that mean I'm getting into a trade right away? No. This is where now we'll go down into the lower time frame, right? And we'll start looking for higher highs and higher lows. On the 4-hour time frame, price gave us a lower low change of character, lower high, and we could see that on the lower time frame, we're kind of trapped in a little range. Not really, because we could still see lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low, right? So we know that we're still on an internal downtrend. And on the 30-minute, price gave us lower low, lower high, lower low, change of character, higher high, right? Once price gave us this higher high, we could see that this is where price is just moving sideways. Still hasn't given us a clean break of these lows. These candles here we're still testing. None of them closed below without touching the BOS line, and we're still here. Very similar to the other pair. We had 3 days of rise. On the 3rd day, price gave us a rise in no net. Why weren't we expecting a 4th day push to the top side? Because we're trading at the higher high of the change of character, right? So there's 2 ways that I'm looking at this. The first way is going to be if price gives us a valid break of these lows, then we know price is just going to give us a steeper pullback down to the bottom. If price respects these lows and we start seeing that on the internal time frame, right, the 5-minute, the 1-minute time frame, if price starts to make higher highs and higher lows, then we know that we could start looking to take those trades. And right now on the 5-minute time frame, we have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Then price gave us the lower low change of character, lower high, lower low. Then price gave us a nothing. It never broke these highs here, and these lows still aren't broken. So we're still trading between this lower low, lower high, lower low. We're still trading, as you guys can see, between these highs up here. That was a horrible line. Let me try that again. Right? Between this high and this low. Before I start taking trades on GU, I need to see price give us a higher high break of change of character, right? A higher high change of character, higher low, and then I need to see another break of structure, higher high, higher low, to then continue to take those trades back to the top side. So for right now, for GU, just gotta be patient. Wait it out, wait for price to do what it has to do, and then we start looking to take those trades. We'll be very patient with GU. NZD USD daily time frame. We know that we are in A2, second zone of consolidation on a downtrend, right? And Jessica, this is how, once we go over the charts next time we do the session, this is how I'm going to want you to label them. If you want to take a screenshot of this one just to have a little cheat sheet, right? This is how I'm going to want you to label them, right? You had the first push on the uptrend, right? You had the first push, level 1, first zone of consolidation, V1, second level, second push into V2, second zone of consolidation, and then push number 3, level 3, into peak high. Then you have the little inverse shoulder head shoulder. Hold on, my brother's calling me. Yo. Yo. What's goody?
What you doing?
The class. What are you doing?
Oh shit, my bad. I'm playing Apex. Question: do you have any more control freaks? Like I know I have, but I don't know where.
I have some, but not the ones that we usually use.
Not the high ones.
I'll look for them after I'm done.
Alright, let me know. This shit is like sliding off already.
I got you.
Alright, thank you.
No problem.
Bye.
My phone was on do not disturb. Let me turn that off real quick. Right, so then on the downtrend we have level 1, first zone of consolidation on the downtrend, A1. You have level 2, second zone of consolidation, and we're looking for price to give us that third and final push to at least reach our previous peak lows at these lows. Right, currently for NZD USD, we're still trading in the zone of consolidation. We had no break of the lows, we had no break of the highs, just testing the highs and testing the lows. On the lower time frame, once we go to down to the 4-hour time frame, we could see that price gave us a lower time frame zone of consolidation that gave us the break, lower low, lower high, and price continued the trend, lower low, lower high, into these lower lows down here. We have 2 weeks of drop. Could we be expecting price to give us a third week low? It's very low probability. Once again, we're trading at the bottom of the zone of consolidation, so it's not the best spot to be looking for a trade. I'll be looking for price to give me a steeper pullback on NZD USD before we continue to push down to the bottom. However, we are at a point of interest. In level 3, we're looking for price to bounce off the 50 EMA. And where are we? We're right on the 50 EMA. So on the 30-minute time frame, what is it that I'll be looking for? At this point, I'll be looking for price to start turning around and start giving me lower lows and lower highs. Right? On the 30-minute time frame, we had lower low, lower high, lower low. That gave us that second week push to the bottom. And then price came up and gave us a change of character, higher high, higher low, and price tapped into the 30-minute highs. Hasn't given us an inducement yet of the highs. It just tapped into the 30-minute highs. So at this point, where is it? Daily or 30-minute rise. Right, at this point, what is it that I'll be looking for? I'll be looking for price to either give us an inducement of these highs to then start lower low and lower high, and that's when I'll start looking to take the trade. Or on the 5-minute, 1-minute, let's look at structure real quick. It might be the 1-minute. Right, 5-minute, we're pretty much trading between the same structure here. If we go down to the 1-minute, we have lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Then we had a change of character, higher high. Right, so even on the 1-minute, we'll be trading between these lows and these highs. So gonna be a little bit trickier to trade NZD USD on the lower time frames just because we have such a wide area to trade in. But we'll be waiting for this, right? The easiest trade is going to be if price gives us an inducement of these highs, right? Once it gives us an inducement of these highs, we know it's going to go back down. If price gives us a break of these highs, then we know we're going to go higher. So we'll be patient with NZD USD. And that's pretty much it, guys. These last couple pairs, up until oil, I'm not really going to go over them since I'm not really trading them. Right, US 30s in peak high territory. I'm just going to let price do what it has to do here at this point. We have 2 days of rise. The market open already gave us that third day push. We know that we still have this engulfing candle here going short on US 30. However, I'm not really expecting price to tap into that. It's not really a high probability area for me to take those trades going short. Daily time frame, we're still on an uptrend. 4-hour time frame, we're still trading higher highs and higher lows. 30-minute time frame, it gave us a change of character to the bottom side, but it never gave me the valid break. So this could still very easily be the inducement to trap traders to think that this is where price was going to make lower low, lower high until the lower low to go back higher and give us another higher high. So I'm going to be very cautious with trading US 30 right now. In these areas too, right, this is where price has rejected lows, going to the middle, rejected the lows again, going to the highs, rejecting the bottom again, going back up to the highs here. So at this point, I'm not really going to be trading US 30. USD CAD has been moving sideways for this last couple days, right? For a whole week, we've just pretty much been moving sideways. This is another pair that right now, daily time frame is giving us too many things, right? On one end, we're still on the uptrend pattern, right? Technically speaking, we've already made the 3 pushes to the top side. We already reached our previous peak highs. However, we're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Could this still be a higher low to make a higher high? Another higher high point? Absolutely, right? And on the other side, price gave us a new high, tapped into our peak high, gave us an inverse shoulder head shoulder, gave us the first push to the bottom, right, level 1, and it gave us the first zone of consolidation. It's following the rules that we want to see on a downtrend pattern. However, price came back to the top of the zone of consolidation, and it gave us a valid break of structure of these highs, right? So price is technically still telling us that we're on an uptrend on USD CAD, right? We had 3 weeks of rise. After 3 weeks of rise, this week we're expecting price to either move sideways or go down, right? Oh, I'm sorry, that already happened. Let me update this. We didn't update this when the market's open. We were so close to a no net. Did we finish on a no net? No, we were 5 pips from a no net. We finished on another week of rise, and again, that's okay. On the 3rd week, price gave us a gap in the market. On the 2nd week, price gave us a gap in the market, resets the trend, right? So everything still looks like we're on an uptrend for USD CAD. So that's the reason why right now I'm not really going to be looking to take these trades, right? I'll be a little bit more patient with USD CAD, but we could see higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Price gave us a higher high, and instead of just giving us a simple higher high, higher low back into the higher high, it gave us a zone of consolidation, where again, the market makers are just trapping traders, right? If you're a breakout trader and all you're looking for is a break of structure of a zone of consolidation and you're looking for a retest, how many traders you think are currently in these trades thinking that price is going to give them the break, retest, and continue back down to the bottom? I can name you a handful of traders who trade this. A very notorious trader in the scene, in the community, Mr. Roger Banks. Smart Money Concepts. Or no, I'm sorry, Smart Roger Concepts. This is what he teaches, right? Zones of consolidation. All you're looking for is a break, retest to continue. How many traders you think are currently in this trade? Right? So understanding market structure and understanding where you're at in the pattern is very important, right? So right now, I'm just staying away from this. There's too many confirmations on this pair, right? If one singular pair is giving you confirmations for both entries, buys and sells, right? Longs and shorts, I stay away. I don't need to get confused, right? So I'll be very patient with USD CAD. I don't like where we're at right now. I don't like how price is moving. I'll be very patient. But you know somebody who's really good at trading USD CAD? Donovan. That motherfucker would clown me right now. That's been his thing the last couple years that I've been doing these sessions. Because I've been saying it forever, bro. I don't know what it is with USD CAD, but I have a mental block when it comes to USD CAD. This is by far, in my opinion, USD CAD is the hardest fucking pair to trade. I don't know why, but it's always been like that since the beginning that I've started trading. Since the beginning. Since the first time I've opened up a chart, USD CAD for me has always been the hardest pair to look at. USD ZAR is another one I'm hands off on right now. We know that we have push 1, first zone, push number 2, second zone of consolidation, but price already reached our previous peak highs with the second push to the top side, right? Currently, we're still sitting at the bottom of the zone of consolidation. So at this point, it's very easy to trade, right? As soon as we start seeing price give us higher highs and higher lows, that's when I'll start trading this pair again. And currently, we're still making lower low, lower high, lower low. Price gave us the change of character higher high and tapped into these highs and just gave us a zone of consolidation. Rejected the highs, rejected the lows, rejected the highs, rejected the lows, consolidated for a little bit, rejected the lows, went back to the highs, rejected the highs, came back to the lows, and gave us a break of structure of the lows of this internal zone of consolidation. So right now for USD ZAR, I'm going to be very patient. Again, what I'll be looking for before I take a trade on USD ZAR again, I need to see price give us a valid break of structure of these highs. Now, the fact that price is already going lower, we still know that we could still be looking for a higher low, right? So at this point, on the lower time frame, which again is going to be either the 5-minute or the 1-minute structure, I'll be looking for price to start giving me higher highs and higher lows. And right now, what do we see? Lower lows and lower highs the entire time, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, into these lower lows. As soon as we get a change of character and a break of structure back to the top side, that's when I'll start looking to take these trades back up to the top. So right now for USD ZAR, I'm hands off. Gold, I'm hands off completely. I'm not even going to do an analysis on gold. We're in peak high territory. We're in the highest point in the market. We have 9 weeks that price has just been pushing up to the top side, right? We currently have the daily, the 4-hour, the 30-minute high. I completely forgot that this pair had the engulfing candles and the 30-minute engulfing, but it looks like price is getting ready to go down. I mean, this would have been a good trade to take for the opening of Asia session. As soon as the market opened, came up, tapped into our engulfing candle on the 5-minute, you know, we could have taken this trade. I would have definitely taken this trade if I would have remembered about this. I'm not going to lie, I completely forgot, right? It's a 9 pip stop on gold, right? It's a pretty high, but 9 pip stop for 156. Right, so it's not, wouldn't have been a bad trade to take it for the beginning of Asia session here. Right, tapped into our 5-minute engulfing, beautiful entry, beautiful stop loss, beautiful TP just to fill the gap here at the beginning of the session. But that's the only way I'll trade gold, man. Just taking these small positions in and out, because gold has just been doing whatever it wants to do. So gold right now, we'll continue to look at it tomorrow morning. We'll get back on the charts. Right, Bitcoin is another one that I'm currently not going to be trading on this side. Just gonna continue to wait to see better structure. Right, we had 3 days of rise already. After 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. We know we still have an engulfing candle at these lows. We also have 2 weeks of drop on Bitcoin. Could we be expecting price to give us a 3rd week low? It could happen. Again, this is still a pair that is on an uptrend. Right, so we just gotta be patient. I just want to see a little bit better structure. Right, just a little bit better. And then last but not least, guys, oil. We know we're in an overall downtrend with oil, right? We have the double top, push number 1, first zone of consolidation. The break of the zone of consolidation, which again, lower low, lower high, it gave us a lower low. Gave us the lower high that tapped into our 1-hour engulfing candle. Beautiful trade. Lower high to go back into the lower low, right? So all I'm looking for oil is the continuations back down to create that lower low. And price is doing exactly that. It gave us 3 weeks of drop. This week, not really expecting price to continue. Could it continue? Absolutely. But we're either expecting price to move sideways or go up. I am expecting price to at least give us, right? We're still at a lower low, right? We see the trend. Lower low, lower high, all the way down into these lower lows. I am wanting to see price give us a lower high point to then continue into the lower low. Does it have to give us that lower high point? No. But I would love to see it. I'm not a fan of taking trades at the bottom of the zone. Once price already reaches our daily, our 4-hour lows, our 30-minute lows, I'm not a fan of taking those trades. Right? I'll catch the trades all the way up until those areas, and I'll start looking to take those trades again once price breaks below the area. Once price breaks below the daily and the 4-hour low, it gives us the break and it gives us a retest. That's when I'll start looking to take these trades again for oil. Right? Or we'll be looking for a continuation. If we could get 2 days of drop, I'll take that 372, no problem. Right? And on the 30-minute, we had lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. It gave us just a wick. At this point, I'm not going to mark this as lower low, lower high, lower low just yet. I'm going to wait it out, see what price wants to do, and then we'll go on from there. But that's pretty much it, guys. Any questions, let me know. Any other pairs you guys want me to go over? Anything else you guys want me to explain? Any other pairs? Any trades that you guys took that you want me to talk about and go over? Just let me know. If not, that'll be it for today, and we'll be back again for the live trading session. Any questions at all, guys, let me know. No questions in the chat. You guys are good. I'll give you another 30 seconds. No questions, all good? Alright, perfect, Kendall. No problem, my brother. Alright, hope you guys have a good rest of your night, and we'll see you guys again later for the live trading session. Peace out. Any questions? Oh, also, for the guys watching the recording, if you guys made it this far, any questions, let me know. Leave the questions in the comment section, or you could DM me on Twitter, or DM me on Discord, or whatever is easier for you guys. For you guys who watched the live session, if you guys have any questions later on in the night, or tomorrow, if you guys decide you have a question, always, you could hit me up. I'll be available for you guys. Hope you guys all have a good rest of your night. Peace out. Stream, get out of here, go